Hola amigo, Eloloita, this is your boy Silenx and you're watching SilenxScripts. Welcome to the episode 12 of Let's Learn How to Build Static Websites and Make Our Lives Less Miserable. Anyway, please don't mind this folder name saying episode 11 because I didn't actually change it. I was just recording episode 11. Anyway, so in this episode we're going to learn about two things, which those two things are display property of CSS, of course, and visibility property also of CSS. Anyway, so without any further ado, let's get straight into it and make a boilerplate real quick. Now I'm gonna link my CSS file. I'm gonna do link style CSS. Okay. I'm gonna make div, and I'm gonna give it class box, and I'm gonna give it ID of box 1. And then what I'm gonna do is I actually don't need anything inside of these boxes yet. I'm just gonna do dip, okay, and I'm gonna do box 2. I'm just gonna tell you why I'm making so many boxes. What I'm gonna do is open my browser. This is where everything should be. Now what I'm gonna do is give a h1 tag hello, then I'm gonna do h1 hi, and then I'm gonna do h1 hello. If you didn't know, hello means hello in Dutch. Yeah, probably. Anyway, I'm gonna target the box class because the class I've given it to like each and every box. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly give them all border of 1 pixel solid red, and I think I need to refresh the page. Okay, now it's working. I think I should use h2 instead of h1. And if you want your tags to change like this, when you change the tag from one side, the other side changes automatically like this. You see? Then all you have to do is like install this extension, which is HTML tag auto rename tag. Yeah, there it is. Auto rename tag. This thing, when you change one of your tags, it changes the other one as well. Anyway, now that we have given it a border, what I'm gonna do is, now you see the divisions have taken like entire width that they could have gotten. And in the very last episode, I also taught you that when you can target the body element, which is entire this white canvas, and by default your browser gives margin to everything. So what I'm gonna do is gonna do margin 0. Now you can see that they're taking each and every pixel of width that they are getting. But why the hell is that? This is something related to the property we're gonna learn today, which is display. Now if I do display block, well, nothing's gonna change. And now just so you know, I'm using all of these on the boxes, and I've given them class box also, just so you know, so that you just want to make sure you haven't forgotten everything. Anyway, now that I gave them display block, why did nothing happen? It's because by default CSS automatically gives everything display block. So when I do display block, CSS already has given it that property, so nothing's gonna change. But when I do display inline block, what do we see? They are not taking the entire width of the screen anymore, and they're taking only the width that they need. But why is that happening? That's what this property actually does. When you give the display only block, then it takes all the width that it can. When you give it inline block, it gives the width that it needs. It takes the width that it needs, the content inside of it needs. If I remove the hello from here, it's gonna become like a small thing. Now that we know about these two, which is display inline block, which makes the elements have the width and height, have the width that they need, and also display block, which makes elements take all the width that they get. Now let's move on to the other ones. Now when you go to display and use the autocomplete, you don't have much to work with. Now what I'm gonna do, all of these, you're never gonna use it. Just take this from me, you're never gonna use it. unless you become like really hot chat developer, which you're not gonna become with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You're not gonna use all of these, like never. The only ones that you're gonna use, I'm gonna tell you, they are block, sorry, block, then inline block, and then flex, and then grid. These are the very four properties of display you're going to be using. Now you might be asking, Silenx, you told us about inline and this block, but what about grid and flex? Now if I tell you display grid and display flex are like a separate video in themselves, because these are really important concepts of CSS and they require their own particular and separate video. So I'm going to do that in the near future, not the next episode or next to next, because this is a really big topic, so I have to think about, I have to script what I'm going to say, because these are really important. But yeah, so these are the four displays you need to know. Inline, which only takes enough width that it needs. Block, which takes all of the width it gets, and then flex, which you don't have to know about right now, and then grid, which you don't have to know about right now. And thus the display thingy is done. Well, congratulations, you have completed another property in CSS. Now I told you that I'm going to teach you about two properties, which are display, and then the second one is visibility. Yeah, visibility. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna say display block. No, maybe display inline block. And what I'm gonna do is give it a width of 100 pixel. Every single box I'm gonna give them width of 100 pixel and height of 100 pixel. So now I have given each and every division its own width and height. So now they're all like uniform width and height. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna target them one by one, okay? So box 1, box 2, and box 3 are the IDs I gave them, so I can target them using those IDs. Now I'm gonna target the box 1 with its ID, and what I'm gonna do is I was just thinking what to do. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a background color of maybe pink, so you can differentiate it from everything else. Now you know that it has a background color of pink. Now I write display and then I gave it a hidden property, and now you see the first block just disappeared. I mean, it should be quite obvious by the word itself. Hidden means it's gonna hide, but still, the one thing you might notice, the box like just hid, but it's still taking all the space, right? It still exists, it's just invisible. It exists here, it is still here, it's just invisible. But what if I want it to just go away and not even take the place? And if you want this box 1 to just disappear and not occupy any space, you do display none. And as soon as you do display none, it just vanishes. I should remove visibility hidden as well. As you can see, the first box has now vanished, but also it's not occupying the space that it was occupying before. Now if I comment out display none, you can see it comes back. And if I do visibility hidden, and you know what, I'm gonna do display none to box 2. I'm gonna do display none, and you see box 2 just disappeared. I'm gonna actually type the box name inside of them, box 1, so that it becomes easier for you guys to understand things, which I just want to do that. I don't know, man, I just want to make it easy for you, because that's what this series is about. Learn things easily. Anyway, now you can see the box 3 is only one visible, but box 1 is still occupying the space. If I remove this if I remove display none, you can see box 2 is here, box 3 is here, but box 1 is invisible, but it's still occupying all the space that it used to when it wasn't invisible. Like, it's still occupying the same amount of space that it was. But if I do display none, it won't even occupy the space, and it will also vanish. So yeah, those were the two properties, namely display and visibility. Anyway, that was all I had for this video. The next video is gonna be about z-index and HTML list. I know, totally two random topics which you might not understand what they are right now, but you don't need to, because I'm gonna teach you both of them in the very next video. So that was all I had for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll meet you guys in the next episode. Till then, take care of yourself and the family. Silenx signing off.